Hey, this is Mr. Alexander, and I want to talk to you today about finding the directrix and focus with regards to a quadratic equation. The first thing you need to know is that this dot right here above a quadratic equation is called focus. And this line below here, this is called a directrix. And parabolas like this, these curves, have a geometric definition. So let's say you take any point on this directrix and you draw a line to the parabola. And then you draw another line to the focus. Well, the definition of a parabola is an infinite set of points, and every point on that parabola is equidistant from the directrix to the focus, meaning this line segment and this line segment are congruent. So all these points on this parabola are equidistant from the focus and the directrix. That's the definition of a parabola in geometry. And I'm going to tell you how to find these points, the focus, and this line, the directrix. Well, if something's already in vertex form, you know what the vertex is. It's just h, comma, k, like that, in that equation. And you know what the axis of symmetry is too. It's just x equals h, like that. Now the new stuff is this focus. It's a coordinate point, and it's just inside the parabola, and the way you find it is it's h, that same h from the vertex, comma, k plus 1 over 4a. Now that a is that whatever's in front of the parentheses here in vertex form. So that's k plus 1 over 4a. The directrix then is y equals, because it's a line, this directrix is a line, y equals k minus 1 over 4a. So it's just a horizontal line, meaning it lays flat, straight and flat. So this is a number. K from the vertex minus 1 over 4a is just going to spit out a number, and it's just going to tell us where this horizontal line lies. So I wanted to show you a couple of these. So let's say we've got an equation that's in vertex form, like this one. And the first thing I want to do is say what the vertex is. So that vertex, well, that's just from the equation. It's the opposite of this, so if that's negative 5, it's going to be positive 5, comma, the k is negative 1. So that's my vertex. My axis of symmetry, I'm just going to abbreviate that AOS, is x equals something, and it's just the x from the vertex, so that's x equals 5. And the direction that this thing opens, there's no negative in front here, so this thing opens upwards. And we can do the range right now as well, the domain and range. So the domain for quadratics is always the same. It's just negative infinity to positive infinity. And the range, and this is an interval notation by the way, the range is how low to how high, low to high. So I know this thing opens upwards, so the lowest y value ought to be the vertex. So I know that it touches negative 1, and it goes up forever to infinity. That's the domain and range. That's all the stuff you already know. The new stuff, the focus, well, the focus, I said, if I go back over this sheet, is h, comma, k plus 1 over 4a. So the h is just 5. and then the k plus, so the k is -1, plus 1 over 4a. The a is just the number in front here, so that's 1. So 1 over 4 times 1 is just 1 over 4. So this is -1 plus 1/4. So that equals 5 comma -1 plus 1/4 is -3 over 4. Or it's 0.75 if you prefer. Now I want to identify the directrix. And I'm going to graph all these things in a moment. The directrix, I said, is y equals k minus 1 over 4a. So k is -1 minus 1 over 4a. Well, 1 over 4a we decided was already 1 over 4. So I'm just going to subtract off that 1 over 4. So the directrix is going to work out to be -1 and 1/4, or -5 over 4 if you prefer. Whichever fraction you prefer there. So let's graph all this stuff. So I know the vertex is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. And I want to graph this thing. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1, 3 over 1, up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So remember that pattern when you're graphing. It's up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 5 over 1, if the a is 1. So I can go ahead and graph this nice curve here now. Put some arrows on there. And I want to put the focus point on there as well. I know that the focus is at 5 and -3/4. So that thing is like right there. It's really close to the vertex, but it's right there. And the directrix is at -1 and 1/4. So that line is like right below it. So if I just draw a dotted line underneath this thing, that's where the directrix is. So why don't we go ahead and do another one of those. So I'm thinking number 2 here. So we're going to do all the same stuff. This thing's in vertex form. So I'm going to identify the vertex first. The vertex is opposite of +4, so -4, comma, -5, because that's the one on the outside. My axis of symmetry is going to be x equals -4, because that's the x in the vertex. I know this thing, because there's a positive out front, not a negative, this thing opens upwards, so opens upwards. And I also know that the domain of this guy is -∞ to +∞, because that's true for every quadratic function. It's always -∞ to +∞. The range is what's going to change. This thing opens upwards, so the lowest point is the point of the vertex, the y in the vertex. So it's going to touch -5. It's going to go up forever. The new stuff, the focus, is a coordinate point, and the focus, remember, is h comma k plus 1 over 4a. So h is -4, and then k is -5 plus 1 over 4a. A in this case is 2, so 4 times 2. Well, let's see here. So 1 over 4 over 2, that's 1 over 8. So I'm going to need to add 1 over 8 to -5. So that's going to work out to be -4, comma, -4 and 7/8. Like that. The other new thing is the directrix. That's going to be y equals something. Y equals k minus 1 over 4a. So k is your negative 5, and we're going to subtract off that 1/8 now. So that works out to be y equals negative 5 and 1/8. That's the equation of the line for the directrix. So if I graph all this stuff, I know the vertex is at negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 4, negative 5. And I know there's a 2 in front, so I'm going to go up 2 over 1. And then if the pattern is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, like that normally, we just double all those. So it's going to be 2, 6, 10, and so on. So I went up 2, I'm going to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And I'm not going to be able to get 10 more, so I'm just going to go ahead and graph this thing. So I've got my nice little parabola there. Now I want to graph the focus point, which I said is at negative 4 and negative 4 and 7/8. So again, this thing is really close to the vertex. And then the directrix is at negative 5 and 1/8. So that's going to be like really close. Really close to the vertex as well. So you just want to draw a straight line here for the directrix. And that's it. That's how you're going to graph parabolas and the focus and directrix, and that's how you identify the focus and directrix. So thank you for watching. Hope it was useful.